Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of season 2. We're back. It's the BlaQberry View. What you gonna do? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay.
Oh,
Girl,
you know.
we can
You know what? Anyways, hey y'all, and welcome back. It is episode 2 of season 2 of the BlaQberry View, and we have lots to talk to you about today. We are going to be talking about sex, safety, and pleasure. So, before we get started with this episode, I will say that during this episode, there's going to be things that we're going to be talking about. There's going to be things that we're going to show you that may not be for children of a certain age. So, if you feel like you don't want your kids seeing certain things, I suggest you go ahead and take this episode to the bedroom, wherever you watch or do your freaky stuff. You take it there and watch it there.
Well, you know what? Or if you are one of those new age parents who wants your children to be educated, watch this with your child, because this conversation could enlighten and spark a conversation that needs to be had and should be had within your household.
Exactly. And on that note, let's go ahead and start talking about sex, safety, and pleasure. But first, almost forgot. I can't believe I did that. As you can see, there's a beautiful person sitting right next to me, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves. You may recognize her from the last episode.
How y'all doing? I'm Misha Frazier. I am a sexologist, I'm a writer, and I'm the owner of Misha's Room.
Oh, owner. Oh, owner. Black women owner. Yes. Y'all, and you know, at the end of this episode, we're gonna put all the information so you can go and shop. You know, support them. All right. So, Harold, kick us off, boo.
All right, so since we're talking about sex, safety, and pleasure, I thought it was only befitting to get some research that can talk about what are some people's kinks. And so I found an article that talks about a survey that was done with 2,000 people. And it was men and women. They found out everybody's top kinks, top 10 kinks for men and top 10 kinks for women. And what was actually amazing about it was that despite how honest they were about their kinks, only about on average 30% of both men and women actually share their kinks with their partners. So listen to this. Here's the top kinks for women. The first, starting with number 1, working our way down to 10. For women, is sex outdoors, blindfolded sex, body piercings, role play, dressing up in sexy costumes, filming each other having sex, DIY porn, domination and submission, food play, spanking and whips, and tying up. That's for women. For the fellas, is DIY porn, typical, role play, specifically with uniforms. They had to put a qualifier there. Bondage, specifically spanking and whips, sex outdoors, threesomes, rubber and latex and leather, domination and submission, body piercings, food play, and blindfolded sex is dead last.
Rubber for men? No, I know that's
number 6.
Wait, but what is rubber though?
So you know, like latex.
Yeah,
like, so have you ever seen those people, those individuals, like, and they normally happen like a dime setting to where they'll be wrapped in latex. And like either like they have on like a trash bag.
Oh, that's hot.
So we're not going to yuck.
I mean, I'm not yucking it if that's what you like, but I know for me, if I'm being wrapped, I know I'm gonna be hot. But I'm not yucking it.
Well, so what is you all's individual kinks? And I'll start with mine since I brought it. As you see my shirt today, it says "choke me, please," because consent. For me, I am into domination and submission. I will identify as a switch. I like to switch back and forth between a more dominant and submissive role. And I also get an arousal out of power play. So part of the choking is that I feel like somebody has control and dominance over me. And so some slight choking in between time, meantime is a thing that just like gets me where I need to be. So that's mine.
I wonder how your boo behind the camera feels about those kinks.
That's why I didn't look at him.
Have y'all put it into play? Put it into action.
My kinks, I like impact as well. Impact and power plays is something that I'm pretty into. I also like. It's another play on power play, but it's more of like submissive power. So it's not like when you look at someone as a dominant, you think that the dom is the person that's really in control of the scene in those spaces. But in reality, it's the submissive person. And so it's the power of submission. So like if someone is saying, you know, like, is it mine? Then is it? Kind of like, is it? Or let's see, another example is like, go in this position. Then it's like, make me, kind of like things. So it's that submissive
I do kind of
play
like
on power as well.
Okay, I gotta add this verb, so I like this.
Put it in there. You can have that one.
I love that shit. And a lot of people think because I'm like a little small petite thing that I can't be the submissive one, but yet control the situation. And I often do. As a Leo. I'm joking. I would say my kinks, I have a lot. So I get into a little bit of water sport. For those who do not know, that is when people like to engage in piss play, right? And either that can be somebody pissing in you, on you, around you, whatever the case may be. So I like a little water sport.
Are you okay with it being anywhere, like any part of your body and inside, or
Anywhere below the face or inside of me. It's great. I also like to do it to other people. I also like to dress up, so I've had people ask me to dress up in stilettos and tights and things of that nature, and fuck them. Yeah. I also have a nut fetish.
I do too.
In public. And feet.
Planters.
Shut up, I hate you so much.
I love voyeurism, so I like to watch and I love to be watched.
Yes.
I also am a very so much old school freak. I love orgies. So like to be touched by multiple people, multiple things, in multiple times, in multiple settings. And I also love to do the touching.
I like that.
I like a lot of those. I like to watch.
What don't you like?
Yeah.
You're better doing that.
That may be easier.
Well, maybe piss play may not be my thing, but
Have you tried
it's not off the table because I haven't tried it. So maybe that.
So you're OTA,
What's that?
open to all.
You know, I'm open to experience anything for the first time.
Well, OTE.
Okay, yes.
Open to experience.
But I love nut.
yes.
I like to see a dude I like to see it shoot. I like to see it gush. I like to have it on my face. I like to have it on my lip. Like, I just love the look of nut. I do. And then I like outdoors. I like the spontaneous little thing. Oh, I've had some bomb experiences. Just like random like restaurants. Like, hey, you want to go? Bet. I'm gonna meet you in this little bathroom, big star. Have at it, boom, boom, pow. We did.
Season 2 Q is gonna give you more to you.
Whole different view.
Okay, the whole different view.
different
Q said, y'all thought I had got fired, but I'm coming back with a
Probably in my spot.
Yeah, I'm right on my spot.
Speaking of nut, I also love watching porn when women squirt. I love seeing women squirt.
We all watch porn. That's reflective of your sexual experience.
No.
I like to watch porn sometimes.
I like gay porn.
You know what?
It's kind of like a little survey thing that I was doing when I was younger. I like asked a bunch of lesbians, my peers, and a lot of us really like gay porn.
I know just women, a lot of women I know in general like gay porn.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of women who will watch gay porn and get off.
But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense because like porn is a fantasy, right? So a lot of times porn is like you experiencing things that you want to experience in the day. So for a gay man to watch straight porn, we gay men watch straight. That's a fantasy, right? And for like straight women and lesbian women to like gay porn, it's like it's a fantasy, like because. A lot of some of the girls do, because I mean, in some of those situations too,
But question though, like when you're watching straight porn, I'm guilty of this. Do you actually watch the girl, or you just fixated on the dude that's?
I'm watching
the girl.
But it depends. So if this is a safe space, which is on TV.
So to answer your question,
No. I'll say this. I would say vanilla flavored porn does not get me where I need to be.
No.
But chocolate flavored porn. Zoom in on this. Chocolate flavored porn. gets me where I need to be, and I watch both.
I like
Because it's more authentic and it feels more like a.
So what you're saying is that when you go to www.pornhub.com and on the left-hand side where it says categories, you go to black.
Yes, black, ebony, urban.
Wait, you pick that big black dick? Because I always pick
Wait a
that.
minute, time out. Yeah, I just learned
Wait,
the
that's-
Pornhub like little thing, intro thing.
Yeah.
Because I was on TikTok. And somebody was like, play some around your homeboy and see if they get a reaction. And I'm part of the population of people in the world that watch Pornhub, but doesn't turn on the sound until the video starts. And so I've never heard the little, the intro beat. And so I'm like, what is this? And I had to go and scroll through the comments from my life to figure out what is the sound. And I found out that's a Pornhub intro, which apparently a lot of straight black men are familiar with. I'm just like, why do y'all start the sound before the scene gets there?
So you have it on mute and then just
And then press play?
Well, because I feel like if I'm watching, I'm probably watching in the setting where I don't want anybody to know that I'm watching, and so
So like jack off in public?
no, that's definitely not what I said. But I guess put like this, my introduction to sex was very like, let me do this behind closed doors and dark, and so I would intentionally not start the sound until the scene was there. Then I would play it really, really low. So this is something it's been ingrained in me to do. So I would have never known if I was on a TV show for $1 million and it said identify the Pornhub theme song or a little intro beat, I would have lost $10 million.
We are completely opposite because my neighbors get tired of me. When I was streaming from my phone to my TV and turned it up on the surround sound.
So you put yours on your TV?
Yes, God.
Yeah, I'm on TV.
I just started screencasting. Hey, that airplane, that screen.
This nigga get tired of holding his phone.
And then I can't do like how some people y'all go on like Twitter. I'm like, but the video's not long enough. Like I need them at least 2 minutes.
I spend at least $300 a month on the thing.
$300 a month?
I follow like almost like 40 people.
Really?
What?
I bet you they good though too. I know a couple of them.
I follow I give like $50 a month.
I ain't gonna lie.
I
The
feel like
community may hate me for this, but I definitely subscribe just to see one video, and I'm unsubscribed.
So and it all,
I'm working on myself.
So a lot of times,
I'm
and with me, it always starts out of the nature for me to be nosy. Because I'll be on Twitter and I'll see somebody that I know, because I know a lot of girls and a lot of people. I'm like, so do other things, so let me see what they get. That's what they get. Okay, then I would forget. That's how they set you up. Is that you have to slide over to unsubscribe. And sometimes you gotta do it twice.
It's a setup by Todd.
What I will say, and I will add this before we wrap this section up, is that no matter what your particular kink is, things are always a must. Consent is one thing. Any type of safety measures, whatever that looks like for you, they could be use of contraceptives or not. But whatever safety looks like, do that. And then last but not least, consenting people, right? And being able for people to all enjoy the experience, because we're going to get into this later. But not everybody gets theirs. And not everybody reaches climax, and that's a shame. And I hate that for the people. So make sure everybody gets theirs, make sure everybody's consenting, and make sure everybody's safe.
And speaking of getting theirs, you will be getting yours after this commercial break. Welcome back from commercial. I had to fix my titties. Welcome back, y'all. All right, as you know, we are talking about sex, safety, and pleasure, and maybe, as you can see, we have an array of fun things on the table that we're going to talk to you about, how we use them, how we engage with them. So before we go to Q segment, what's the juice? Q, is it okay if I have people talk about the toys that they brought? Of course. Oh, wonderful. We're going to start with Harold on this end. Mr. Choke me, please.
So for me, I don't have the real cuffs, but you got the idea. Yeah, handcuffs, right? So part of that part of that domination submission piece, particularly when it comes into like BDSM as a whole. One thing is bondage, and I'm not really into bondage as a whole, but one thing I can get behind is being tied up or locked up to something, and just being able to just click clap, but
He said click.
what I will say is that for those who are not familiar, you can actually get actual specific handcuffs if you are into that type of thing as well. They actually come in different sizes, but they also have like fur inside, so they like the constraint, unlike actual cuff, doesn't like dig into your skin. But yeah, unless you like that, then that's your thing. But yeah, so if you like cuffs and you trying to get cuffs, but this is mine right here. So yeah, shout out. And also don't judge me because I'm a black man with blue handcuffs. Black Lives Matter all day, every day. Even in the bedroom. Even in the bedroom. Black Lives Matter. Black sex matters.
Black sex does matter.
I'm trying to think about these stuff. So there's this thing that you can do one day if you like cuffs, right? It's a form of sensory play. So you can cuff yourself, well not yourself, but like your partner or whatever, or tie him up to something if you want to. And then you can blindfold them and put some headphones in their ear. And like, you put the headphones in so they blocks out the sound. You blindfold them so it blocks out sight. You cuff them so it, kind of like restrains them as far as touch and things like that go. And then you can sensually caress them with different parts of your body. You can kiss around their body. You can use like floggers or other things. You can use like even a bandana or a headscarf or something to like trace their body. And because they're restrained, they can't move or touch it. Because they can't see or hear you, they don't know where you are. So it like creates this like sense of, it heightens that sense. So like I like that when I talk about constraints and cuffs.
That is definitely being added to the playbook.
All right, my toys. So I bought a couple of them. This one is real simple, real sweet. I can't remember what I call it, squirmy, something like that. I don't know. It looked like a little sperm thing to me though. But anyway, you can place this in any opening that it fits in, and it vibrates at different like speeds, and it has different like patterns and stuff. It's real discreet, so you can like slip this on or in, and then like put your clothes on and go somewhere. There's a remote to it, so like sometimes if you want to go to dinner or something like that, you can slip it in. Your partner could keep the remote, and then you just have it in or on, and you do your little thing however you do your thing and have fun. I'm like the voyeur's expositionist too, or exhibitionist. Then there's this one. This one is just interesting. I got it because it was cute.
That's okay. That's your business.
And so I like this one because it blows up to like a bunch of different. Zoom in on that one. It blows up to like a whole bunch of different, I guess, widths, and it makes the girth a little bit larger. Sheesh. And then it also has a bunch of different like patterns that it'll do. Like I want to say this is as big as it'll go.
My booty hole just flinched.
Whenever it just keeps going.
That's training.
And that's like as big as it gets.
That is a good training.
And then it like does some other things. It like pulsates. But this is cool.
I need that.
So this helps with Kegels, I'm assuming. Kind of Kegel exercises?
It could.
It's reverse.
I think it could.
It's reverse.
Yeah. Because like with the Kegels, you want to hold it. I'm going to not exercise, hold it. And then release every now and then, you quench.
That's reverse Kegel.
But I like the fact that it pulsates and it expands. So like it gives that like when you slide it in, it's one size, but then it starts to expand inside. And it's a little like different. And it vibrates at the same time too.
It gets you ready for those growers. Because, some people are showers and some people are growers.
Yeah, once they
grow, and they don't grow unless they're in that thing. And once they inside, it's like,
If you ain't fully grown, you ain't getting to Fort Knox.
But sometimes they want to get it. If the pussy's wet, they want to wait until it's wet, and then it expands. It'll grow while it's in. Listen,
I like that. I like to feel it growing inside.
That's how he said if the pussy is wet.
it is. It gets wet.
Y'all, Quentin is fighting for his life for this wrong. He's fighting tooth and nail.
So this is the last one. It's really interesting. You can like stick it on the table. It like literally suctions to wherever you want to go. It can go on the table. It can
Do that sound again.
It's the sound. I don't know why that sound tricky.
It's the sound for me.
So you can suction this to the table. You can put it on like the shower, the wall in the shower. You can sit it on like the edge of the tub or something like that if you want to just, have a seat. And so I like this one because it really takes a lot of the work out of the job when you just press the button, right? So this is one. You have to zoom in on this. 2. I think it has like 8 different speeds. 3.
Oh wow.
We're still going.
Oh my.
I don't think we're there yet. So,
Okay. First of all, you're choosing so much violence for yourself if you have that. You
so
choose
it takes a lot of the work out. You could just hover over it. You could just sit down.
Come on, hover over.
Come on, hover.
But I have a question though. Like, I like that concept. But I wonder if they have like one that'll long dick you. Like one that has extends like a little long dick.
Oh, so you want a slinky dick?
Yeah, that gum, because you get long dick sometimes.
Yeah.
The only concern that I have when it gets to something that'll be like longer is that it'll have to still slide down into this, whatever size it is. It can slide down into something that's 7.5, 8, 9, whatever inches. And then like having that much metal, I think it make it too stiff, potentially. And so then if it gets too stiff, it makes it significantly harder for it to like slide and glide into different positions.
And more dangerous.
Exactly.
So, the perfect toy, the perfect item toy, a mix of all 3 of those. If it was that, but it had this to where you put it in and can blow air. Yeah. And it had a remote to it, so your partner can be like,
Come on, y'all just made a toy, Patton. You heard it.
I was just
first.
about to say, look, we can make a toy.
And it's called the BlaQberry.
Y'all steal that shit, we gonna
no,
come after
it's the
you.
black stick.
Don't take our stuff.
Exactly. Despite popular belief, I am a verse bottom, keyword being verse. So I decided to bring both the toys that I enjoy. Now this is only 2 out of the 7 that I have. So this right here
2 out of the 7, I just caught that.
is but now they actually took a mold of my booty and they made this, yes? And so what I like about this is like it's so realistic. There's the hole right there, yes? And then it has like little balls right here, yes? And then like, it's like real, like smack it.
I want to smack
Smack it. Oh! Oh, there you go, you see that smack? Bam, right? That's why I like it. And so, and then you can like grab, I would demonstrate, but I'm not going to. And then you can grab it, right, just how you would like a real ass. And then I'm going to flip around one more time so you see like the whole expand. So if you do have a big dick, you can still like put it. Oh my God.
Did it fit in there?
It did. It did.
It's the.
Oh my.
But yes, and so the hole expands, right? And then yes, it may like, because it stops right here, and so your dick will just be pushing out like right there. But it's very good. It feels very good on the inside. Put some Vaseline in your dick, some lube. It'll be wet. Oh my God, it's so juicy. I love it. And this right here is Marquise.
It's all the veins. It's like a roll.
So Marquise, is not for my everyday or every other day pleasure, right? Because Marquise is pretty good. Yes. So when I am feeling, a little,
What'd you give the name of?
Explorative.
explorative, right? When I'm feeling myself, I like to pull out Marquise, and Marquise gets the job done. It's the second hole, as most Marquises do. And then, it has the balls and things. And just like Misha's, this can go on the shower. It can be right there on the table. Yeah, you could just, I brought these 2 toys to represent versatility. Some people like the booty and some people like the dick. I happen to like both. I actually love eating ass way more than I love sucking dick.
So this is my handy dandy toy. I call this the Guac Guac 3000, but you can find it online as Pipe Dream because it sells people's pipe dreams. So it's an amazing thing. I like to call it Flesh Jack, but unlike most Flesh Jack, this one has amazing capabilities. Not only does it light up, it rotates, and it's waterproof, and it rotates for different speeds and at different functions, so you can figure out what's most pleasurable for you. So in the perfect scenario, you will lube your penis, preferably to use silicone-based lube with a toy for maximum pleasure, and it keeps things lubricated. You don't have to use it as much as you would water-based lube. And you put your penis in this hole as of here, and you stick and just go at whatever speed. You can rotate, you know, put it up, fast, slow, you know, all of that. It go both directions, like this. Reverse washing machine, regular washing machine.
I definitely thought that was a wine, electric wine.
You know, and then it's also waterproof too. You know, so you can have it in the shower. But my favorite part about this is that it's very discreet because, you know, I'm a person of discretion. And if you were to come into my bathroom and see this thing on my counter, you would know this was a thermal, a wine opener, a flask. You would know what it was. You would just see it and go by. So, you know, it always comes in handy when you can be discreet.
Come on, hidden in plain sight.
Because your mama can come into your bathroom.
It's classy.
Is that decoration? Classy but trashy. Birkin bag.
Oh, and it has a charger port.
It's a charger, yeah. So you
So
charge
it's
it.
not a battery?
It's not battery operated. You charge it. The same charger you use for your iPhones. So these headphones that I normally use, you know, when I employ, same charger.
Hey y'all, as of right now, as we're filming this episode, there's a old couple who is walking through. Or not walking through, but walking by.
And they
These phones right
he literally just looked at that big dick. He
And I did
looked
this.
at it. Mine, now you can zoom up on mine because mine.
It's a lot of zooming happening.
It's real, it's dainty, and it's an abbreviated version of the,
Guac,
you know,
3000.
what is it called?
Guac.
It's
3000.
like,
Well, you know, it's just petite, but it works wonders. And, you know, I just got into toys maybe like 3 years ago. And so this one is actually my favorite. Because it has like little grooves in it. And then you put your little lube in there, a little bit of real moist, put it on your dick and you just go. I'm telling you, I've had some magical moments by myself. So I'm telling you, don't knock it because it's small.
It's small but mighty, baby.
Little tink.
you know what? We should actually do a contest with folks that somewhere, somehow, you know, they get a free sex toy.
You get a toy. Everyone gets a toy.
Okay, so I have a question. What sexual act? Now we're going just like sex with our partners or what have you. Like what's your sexual act that you think that you just rock the shit out of? Like you just know that you do the damn thing with. It's like I know how to. Oh, go ahead.
No shade. I give some good ass dick. Everybody that I have fucked, can I say that? Can I say fuck?
Yes.
That's the word you want. You want to be
Anything that happened today, and you wondering if you can say fuck? It's a dick.
Dick by itself, dick over foot.
The toys fucked each other, and you wondering if
That's your bottom line?
you can't say dick. Excuse me, fuck.
That's the boundary.
Whatever.
Right.
Each time that I have fucked someone, it's always been a wave of bruise, and they always text me asking for more, wanting more. So like I have no complaints in that area, and I'm the type of person I can have sex all night because I get pleasure from giving pleasure, and I can control my penis to the point to where I can control my own ejaculation. Because a lot of times like I have to make myself come because nobody else can make me come. But like I can have sex, I can fuck somebody for like hours, like max maybe like 3 or 4 hours. That's where the group sex comes in. You know,
The sex act that I actually think that I am very good at is actually 2. It's eating ass is number 1. Like anybody whose ass I've ever eaten has just like, and honestly, I don't even have to fuck you. I can just eat your ass and jack off, and I will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, right in right.
And then of course it's topping. So a lot of people they're like, topping you? I've had many people who are like, if people ever ask me about your dick, it's gonna be nothing but praises. So I would say, I'm gonna add a 3rd one. Also sucking dick. I'm very good at sucking dick.
Adrian, how we go from 1 to 3?
Because I'm just, you know what? I'm a Leo.
I need you to follow instructions.
And I'm just good at like most things that I do.
So similarly,
Thank you.
I'll say that I haven't gotten many complaints about many things that I do.
Okay.
So, and that's even when I used to deal with the dudes. I'm a lesbian. For those who didn't watch the first episode, you missed out. You need to go and do that. But I am very much a lesbian. But I would say that the thing that I get complimented on the most is giving head. Like I am really, 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 really good at that.
You have to love it to be.
You have to. I
Exactly.
was literally about to say that.
It's like really if you think if you don't want to eat it, then like you can tell, the person can tell that it's something that's like you're not necessarily into. But if you eat it like you want to, if you really want to, then you know.
Eat it like groceries.
You gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Harold.
So for me,
You just nasty. I just know you nasty.
one thing that I've always had a lot of compliments on that I wasn't trying to be necessarily good at, but it just isn't happening. I'm really good with nipple play. And I've now grown to like it. I like my nipples played with. I like to play with other people's nipples.
Are you a
I like
biter or a rubber?
Huh?
Are you a biter or a rubber?
Both. Yeah. And then I would also say like I'm a verse person. I'm verse. So I've never had any complaints on no matter what side of the fence I was on. I've held my own.
Listen, I suck a mean dick. I know how to slob on a knob. You get me? Especially if the dick is pretty.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
it.
be a pretty dick.
I mean, pretty.
Oh.
I'm on it.
Now, I know you're asking us questions, but I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me.
So, what is your definition of a pretty peen?
Okay. Almost like this. So like if it's veiny, I like it's veiny, and then if it has like a nice fat head, and then it's like, and then if the head is like smooth, it has like that smooth. Yes.
Cut or uncut?
I like either.
See, I'm a fan of cut.
Sometimes I don't know. I've been with uncuts that were like phenomenal. So yeah, I like.
Did y'all know that there's percentages to circumcision? Like you have to, you can only like not you can only, but like there's a percentage of how much you can get circumcised.
Oh.
And some people don't do as much as others.
Yeah, you can choose. Well, you can't choose because
Well,
most times when
Right.
right. But like there are percentages to it.
But a lot of people who get circumcised after, like infancy, have that option to like choose.
Yeah.
Now a question though, and this is an ignorant one, but if like okay, say you're getting your child circumcised or whatever, does that take away the length, like as they get older, like the actual?
No,
It doesn't take away the length, but I've been told that it does take away some of the pleasure, because like within the skin, there's additional nerve endings that people who have uncircumcised penises get from having sex than people with circumcised penises do. And then a lot of times people who have uncircumcised penises, I forget what was said, but like they don't need lube like that because like of how like they don't need lube to jack off because like it's covered, and then just the friction it creates with the pre-cum that comes with the penis does the job for itself.
Do you prefer, like, is it okay for you if your partner gets off and you didn't get off?
No.
Or do you feel some
It's
type of
okay.
way
I do.
if?
No, it's okay for me.
I take it as an insult. I feel like if you don't get yours and I got mine, I feel like it's selfish and I feel like I didn't do my job. So like I gotta make sure that you get yours because like it's like a calling card. Like if you don't get there, I can never tell you that I took you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yes, and at the same time, I'm making sure you get yours. You best believe.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
making sure I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer you go first.
No,
But I
because
want you to
gonna
nut
be
first.
lazy.
No.
No, I want them to nut first because I'm kind of like you. It's like a present for me. Like whenever you.
But no.
But you know what I'm talking about? It's like you get the prize.
So if you get there before me, then I switch it to demon time. Then I become what we talked about earlier, submissive power.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, no, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep going.
Why are we talking about coming as if it was a toy inside a Happy Meal box?
But that's kind of
That's
Because
what
it
I'm
is.
saying. Is what's the outcome? Like, what's your focus?
Right.
What's your your goal? Is your goal to have this pleasurable experience, a pleasurable moment for an extended period of time, or is the goal to have this orgasm?
Yeah.
I
Or like
that.
is the
That's
goal
a
to
good question.
nut?
So I think for me, I get pleasure from giving pleasure. So I try to give pleasure for as long as a period as I can and try to shift. Because I can be able to tell when somebody, okay, let me slow down, let me relax. let me chill, let me, okay, relax. Then do this motion, the left to the right, to the jig, the little shoulders, But I think for me, it's about the moment. I think that I don't care if you get up before I get up because I'm gonna get mine. And even if you want to leave, just know that somebody else is coming behind you, so I can get mine.
I want all of us to get ours. Like, I don't want it to your point. I want to enjoy the journey. I don't want the climax to be the one stop along the train ride. Because there's still stuff. Because see, the toxic sex is the shit that happens after you get the nut.
But after the climax,
that's the shit.
It's the cuddle after the climax for me too. Like after we done both climax and had sex, and we just sitting there laying butt naked in our own sweat and just holding each other. I'm like, go ahead.
Intimacy.
I be like,
It's a
maybe it's the lesbian in me, but once we do that, we about to do it again. Because women have a shorter retractory period, so it's like, we can go ahead and we can have multiple orgasms in a small amount of time. Like, it doesn't take as long for us to like shake back. And so it is that journey of like this, it feels like this for a very long time, and that's like really, really good. Then you reach the climax and you actually orgasm, and you get to come down and play a little bit more until you get back up there. And so it's like that journey that's what I like.
So something that I heard that I guess I wasn't so surprised about is that there's a huge percentage of women that actually do not climax or come when they have sex, primarily with men. And I just find that to be sad, right? And I was listening to this one podcast, and this person wrote in a letter, and they were stating that, they had constantly communicated to their partner, like, hey, I'm not being pleased sexually. And their partner just basically their husband was basically showing that they didn't care. This person even gave them books and tips, or the case may be, and then when the book was given, their husband was like, oh, well, just give me the cliff notes. But like never was invested. So, in you all's opinion, is that a line of like, okay, well, this person's not pleasing me sexually and then don't even want to try, I'm going to
absolutely
check out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like my partner if I'm not getting what I'm necessarily wanting or needing, then I communicate that to my partner, and my partner should in turn be like, okay, well, let's work on it. Because I feel strongly that sex is learned. Like, you can learn a lot of different ways to like get yourself off, and you can learn that from your partner, and then he communicates that to you, and then you communicate. But that's something that, for me, in a relationship, like you can work on, like you can learn from.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think I view sex like cooking and all these other different things people quote unquote be wanting in a perfect spouse or partner. Is that like we can teach that. Like if you don't know how to cook, we're gonna get in the kitchen, we're gonna open the cookbook, and we're gonna get to going, and we're gonna figure out how to do it. Same thing in the bedroom. I think if people are more honest about what they are getting and what they are not getting, and be open to like getting feedback. 'Cause I think sometimes people take the most extreme perspective and rationalize, like you critiquing how I perform in the bedroom is you saying that I'm terrible at sex in general. And it's like, well, here's the thing. Even people who've been having sex their whole entire life, nobody's truly a master or perfect at sex. Even people on the films, like in porn. So
That's
like,
because
everybody's different. Right. I mean, well, because here's the thing. You only, and I've learned this as I was getting insight on how to give head. And no. But somebody was like, and it's really important. She's like, every dick is different, and I was like, well, and that to me just makes everybody's body's different. Right. So what works for this person here may not work for the other person. So I think absolutely can be learned. But if you're not even open to the feedback and you're not open to try to find a solution that works for both of us, then I can't stay with you, because sex is not all of our relationship, but it's definitely a part of our relationship. And if you're not trying to meet me where I'm at, then I gotta go.
Right, but you're right. And like you said, that every dick is different, everybody's body is different. So for example, Q may be able to get the dick all the way behind his tonsils, but somebody else with a smaller mouth may not be able to get that far. So if somebody likes to get deep throat, if you with somebody who wants to deep throat you got to figure out, well, how can I meet the needs of this person? And I know that I can't do that, so I need to use some hands. Something else like a little grapefruit or something to give that feeling. But you got, like you said, you have to be willing to try something, and you got to be willing to figure out what is going to be pleasurable for not only that person, but also for yourself.
That is true. And speaking of willingness, be willing to come back and watch this after the commercial. Hey y'all, and welcome back to episode 2 of the BlaQberry View. So, as you know, we've been talking about sex, safety, and pleasure. We've been talking about the sex toys we like to use, how we use them. We've been talking about pleasure in the bedroom, all those wonderful things. But now, of course, we're going to turn it over to an amazing segment because it's by this lovely face you see over here. Chris, what do you have for us and what those things?
Oh my gosh. So, I actually have a lot of feelings about this conversation. So one thing I would like to thank everybody on the panel, as well as everybody in the audience for being authentic with ourselves, just talking about our experiences and talking about what's pleasurable for us and what sex looks like for us. But as you said, it's sex, safety, and pleasure. So now we're going to jump into one of my favorite portions of this conversation, which is the safety. Because we want to always make sure that we're having healthy, wealthy, and safe sex. And acknowledging that safe is relative for you. So with safety being the topic within this topic, I'm going to ask my beautiful co-host, when you're engaging in sexual activity, oral, anal, or vaginal, because we have a wide view of diversity here today, what does safety look like or feel like for you?
So, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Anna Jr.
I mean, condoms. And
Condoms.
I know.
I'm just joking.
Well, condom. I use condom for anal play and stuff like that. I mean, do we just give one, or can we like one person?
So it's up to you. Like I said, it's relative. So it's up to you. And your intimacy. So what does sexual safety look like?
Okay, for me. So for for anal intercourse, yes, condoms. PrEP is another avenue. And I when I suck dick, I suck it raw. So, but PrEP.
And so for those of you who don't know what PrEP is, PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. And so what it is that it's a medication that you can take that prevents you from acquiring an HIV infection. So literally what it does is that it literally creates a barrier around your T cells, because your T cells are the things that get infected once you have an HIV infection, and they replicate to your other cells. So what PrEP does is that PrEP creates a gate from an unwanted Berkeley, and that Berkeley being HIV, and literally the HIV antigen just pops and bounces off of the PrEP and just releases through your system in other ways, because PrEP keeps you prepared for any sexual situation and safe. Talk to your local physician to figure out how you too can access PrEP at low to affordable to free, cost-effective prices.
And PrEP is not only just for people in same-gender loving relationships.
PrEP is
people
for everybody.
also in heterosexual relationships can also engage with PrEP and/or PEP. And if you are interested in there, are a lot of resources that you can do just simply by Google.
Yes.
And what is PEP?
PEP is post-exposure prophylaxis.
Yes.
And we'll have some websites at the end of this episode that you can click on to get more information, and a website that you can click on to find your nearest PrEP and PEP provider. As it relates to safety, so I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of condoms. And honestly, like, condoms don't work with my booty hole. So, what I used to
Serious
do...
question: Are you allergic to latex or anything?
No.
Oh,
That just feel weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for me, what I like to do is have a conversation with the people that I engage in sex with, right? About our status. And that's anything from HIV status to STI status, which is a sexually transmitted infection, or STD, which is sexually transmitted disease. The difference is disease cannot be gotten rid of, infections can be treated and cured. And so I like to be able to have a conversation with my partners, right? Like,
you know, do you have anything? You know, if so, what is it? Are you on treatment? Where the case may be. And then sometimes we get tested together, right? For me, I think it's all about communication, right? And then also I think safety goes beyond that, right? So, you know, thinking of safe words. So if I'm choking you too hard, you know, what is going to be the thing or the sign that is going to be able to let me know that I'm doing that? If you're not being pleased, that's a form of safety, right? You know, communicate. I think communication is the big thing when you're talking about sexual intercourse or any type of sex with someone that you're engaging in.
Building on that, communication is definitely one of the biggest things. I'm not in the streets anymore, but when I was.
Wait, get it to The Rock. Get it to The Rock.
Oh, but when I was. I would have a lot of conversations. So it would typically start off with, you know, like when was the last time you got tested? What were your results? And I know that sometimes it'll be a little nerve-wracking in a sense to have conversations about statuses with people because it's a stigma. It's really taboo the way that people end up approaching people with incurable STIs or STDs or people who are positive or people who have positive statuses. It can become a little uncomfortable conversation. So like a lot of times when people get uncomfortable, they don't want to have the conversation at all. And so one way that I try to just bulldoze past all of that is by saying, we're grown, we want to protect ourselves and stay safe and stay aware, so let's have this conversation. This is what my status is. This is the last time I got tested. Do you want to go get tested? When was the last time you did? And then depending on however that person responds, then it's like, okay, well, we just go with our move to do whatever we're going to do. Sometimes it's, okay, well, I'm not going to get him head. Sometimes it's like, let me make sure I pull out my dental dam. Like every now and then you have to figure out what measures you want to take based on the conversation that you have. And sometimes it's just saying there are some things that I won't do in this space and time, and there are other things that I will. I also, and I know it's a little bit different for lesbians, but I use condoms on all my straps, and like all my, like this isn't my strap, this is just a little something. Got a couple things in the drawer, but when we use them, like we still use condoms because it's easy cleanup, and then if you have multiple partners, then it's another way to just have another step as far as protecting yourself from those things.
Very fair. For me, definitely consent is always first and foremost. Definitely knowing each other's status. I definitely use condoms. I'm exploring the utilization of PrEP. I'm still trying to think through it. One thing that I definitely gotta have, and this is just like me, like I don't want to be recorded. Like I'm still trying to. I'm not at a space where I want to be recorded having sex with anybody yet. Even if it was my soulmate for the rest of my life. Like we've been married for 15 years. I'm still trying to get to this point in my life. And so I wouldn't do that. So I need to first make sure that like we're in a space where I feel like what we engage and what we experience can just be between these four walls. So that's something that's important. And then the last thing I would say, I just gotta have a very considerate partner because I think it's easy for people to get into the flow of things and be very like, okay, we in here like, and to your point that we made earlier, trying to get to a particular goal. And if you're not considerate around like, oh, you know, this made me hurt, or you know, I'm not enjoying this, or actually I am enjoying this, keep going, don't stop, or whatever it looks like. If you're not able to be considerate of my needs, then that is, to me, I would feel safe. Because if you're not considering what's making me feel good or making me feel comfortable, then to me, that also to me not considerate about my overall well-being.
I think for me, two things come to mind outside of what everybody else has said today. So for me, one is the utilization of lube, because I'm a person who does not prefer to use condoms. So I always want to make sure that there's some type of barrier there. So I try not to use spit because also like when you use spit, you become more susceptible to gonorrhea and chlamydia, just like how the germs can travel and like show and stay within like human saliva. So like I try to use lube as often as I can. If I'm engaging in condomless sex, I use a silicone-based lube because it's so much more long-lasting. But if you use condoms for sex, make sure you use a water-based lube because it doesn't break down the condom. But from my perspective, the best type of lube to buy to meet the needs of everything is a hybrid lube because it doesn't mess up your sheets. It's good to be used with condomless sex and sex when you engage with the condom. So that's my first safety precaution. And then the second is actively getting tested. So every time after I have sex, probably about two or three days later, I'm always getting tested to making sure that I'm okay, because the only persons that you are in control of, you can only protect yourself. You can't protect other people, because I don't know who so-and-so is having sex with, but I know what I'm doing. So what I can do is that I can make sure that I'm utilizing the resources in my toolkit to make sure that I'm safe. And that could be accessing PrEP. That could be knowing when to get PEP. That could be having a provider that you can make a same-day appointment to go get tested for gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, right? So that could be knowing where to go to where you can get access to free testing, to where you can get access to affordable testing, or to know what's in your neighborhood that takes your insurance, and knowing what times they open. Right. You know what I'm saying? And knowing your window period. So I think that for me, it's about lube. It's also about testing, and it's about education. But to the viewers out there, just know that when you are having sex, we want you to have it pleasurably, but we also want you to have it with safety. And we've given you a buffet and a menu of options that you can engage with to have safer sex. That can be through the use of condoms, PrEP. That can be through having open communication. That can be through consent. That can be through figuring out what's pleasurable for the next person. That can be through partner testing, or that can be through using and accessing lube and knowing what resources are there for you within your community, right? So you can't let anyone tell you what's safe for you, because only you know what you like. Only you know what you can access. Only you know what's going to fit within you and your lifestyle. But just know that you have a buffet of options to choose from. And safe sex is not a monolithic thing, and it looks different for different people.
Facts. Yes.
Facts. Period. Point blank. And that's when Mayor had a lamb. So y'all, as you can see, Dr. Zach Shirley is not with us today. No, he did not get fired.
Y'all want to hit some comments real quick.
Because y'all will jump in my inbox.
How about, and no, he does not have COVID.
No, and no, he does not have COVID. We are very mindful of that. But he is sick. And so please make sure you say a little or send some good energy and good vibes. But with that being said, even though she did not know she was going to do this, I'm going to ask Misha to leave our viewers with a tip that they can take with them after watching this episode.
Ooh, I don't mind being put on the spot. I actually like that kind of stuff. It's a kink of mine.
Oh! Come on, King. We got to talk about that.
That's going to be the after hours episode.
So one tip I would like to give the viewers is kind of building on what we've already talked about a bit with communication. Don't be afraid to have conversations that are uncomfortable, because similar to what Harold was saying about dicks being different, when sucking them is different, what they like is different. I also like to look at it as if you're making a sandwich or a burger, right? What I put on my burger today is very different from what you might put on yours. It's different from what I might put on mine tomorrow. I don't expect all of them to taste the same either. I have various expectations for whatever I eat, right?
Right.
So when it comes to sexual experiences, I don't have the same expectations for the same people. I don't even have the same expectations for the same people in different situations. So have conversations about what is pleasurable. What is sex for you? Is it penetrative based? Is it orgasm focused? Do you like nipple play? Do you not even want to be penetrated today? Do you only want to eat ass and beat your meat today? Like what do you want to do? What is pleasurable for you? When you and your partners are able to engage in those kinds of conversations, you discover what works for you, then you discover what works for y'all, and then you figure out different ways to be able to continue to purposely pursue pleasure together.
Ooh, purposely pursue pleasure.
That's the name of the episode. Drop the mic. Well, we don't have a mic, but we have a dick. Drop the dick.
Bitch, that's a t-shirt.
Drop my little dainty thing.
That's found every time.
You throwing dicks at the camera?
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
That way.
Say that one more again, Misha. Purposely. Go ahead.
Purposely pursue pleasure.
Purposely pursue pleasure.
3 P's, baby.
That's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
You heard it here first. Don't steal it.
That's a t-shirt. And on that note, y'all, this has been episode 2 of the BlaQberry View and season 2. Please don't forget to like and share. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the streaming service we are on.
iElevate Plus TV, please do that. It's only $4.99. Some of y'all pay more than that on Pornhub or OnlyFans or on for your sex toys. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Also, at the end of this episode, we will have information on where you can get tested, as well as a link to provide you with more information about PrEP and PEP. Until next time, y'all, stay safe and see you in episode 3.
Peace.